It's a transfer special, an end of season review. It's going to be a good time. Let's get into it, my dudes. Before we get into today's episode, why don't you go ahead and leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment down below. Well, we had a good season. As you can see, we done the treble. We got the league. I'm proud of me. You guys should be proud of me too. We've got the Belgium Cup. And then we got this. I'm happy with it, but it's not really a third, is it? It's kind of just a... I'd like to get something else there. Maybe we do in this next season. We qualified for the Champions League. I mean, that's going to be fun. We're not in the group stage. Remember that. We're not in the group stage. We're in the qualifying path, qualifying fourth path, qualifying round. I don't remember which one. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But that's going to be next episode. We're not in that yet. The new arrivals. Let's see what we got. We brought in a lot of new faces. A lot of guys that are youngsters. And I mean, you can look at it. You can see. It's filled with youngsters. Absolutely filled with them. We're going to start off at the bottom, though. 3 guys that we never used. Raleigh Kashienda. He is on our under-18s team right now. He's on our under-21s, and he's looking really good. 2-star player right now, 5-star potential. And as you can see, attribute-wise, he is skyrocketing. And if his crossing gets any better, he may be a left-back option for us as well. Really like how he's looking. He's going to be a good player for us, I think. A player that came in midway through the season. We purchased him, I think, last year at some point. Pierre Song. He's another center back. 2-star player, 5-star potential. And once again, another player that is just skyrocketing in attributes. He's a Cameroonian international. That's why we didn't get him till later on in the season. Team worker 20, work rate of 17, tackling 17. We got him working on his heading, but at the age of 18, maybe he gets a little bit taller. And like the last guy, if his crossing gets any better, just a little bit better, he may be a right back option for us. This kid's really good. Really good. He has played on our under-21s team as well. The final player that we have not seen this year that I really think he's probably the closest of these 3 guys to making a jump up to the senior squad, and it may be very well this year that he does it. That is Martin Samreck. We purchased him for $64,000 from Slava Prague, and he's a 2.5-star player, 5-star potential on the under-21 side. And like I said, I think he's a good player. We get him on the first team, get him training with that side. I think it's really going to help. And I think he's going to be a good player for us. I was just dribbling was a little bit higher than what it is. As you can see, he wasn't happy with the individual training. I was trying to get him working on that a little bit. It didn't work. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do for in the future. Pretty good in Enganche, ain't he? Never used an Enganche. All right, let's get back to the regular guys. All right, so up top, the best overall, I don't know what you call it. What is it? I'm totally blanking. No, we've got that bug. Well, let's go back. Okay, we'll go back into it now. I apologize. Okay. We're not going to go into detail like as much as we did with those other guys. The only reason why we did that with those is just because we haven't seen them. The signing of the season was Miskovic. 7.08 for him, 44 appearances, 2 subs. We spent a whopping $10.5 thousand on him. And guys, I said we wasn't going to do that. We did it anyways. I apologize. He's been really good. You guys know that. You've seen him most of the season. He was locked in a regular starter for us right off the bat. Okay, I've clicked new arrivals. Okay, there we go. Up after that, Lito, backup goalkeeper. I played him 2 matches, put out a 7.05, B+ for him. Spent $625 for him. I'm really excited about him. I think he could give Cook a run for his money in the future, actually. Van Doss, we purchased him, B+, 6.89 for him. He made 8 appearances for us. I'd like to get that up a little bit next year. Sim Ardor, 6.83. And B- for him. We signed him for a free. So that's good. Valentina, A on him. Really picked it up in the second half of the season. 17 appearances for him, 6.81. And Big Rick, A+ for him, 6.76, 42 appearances. And as you guys know, he really, really upped his game in the second half of the season. And I would even say in the last third of the season, he was scoring goals for fun at that point. And I'm really excited to see what these guys can do for the future. I think we got a bright future ahead of us with this young group of players that we brought in this past season. Season results, we get an A+ for our finish in the league. C for the Champions League. That was a little bit disappointed in that. I was too, but with Cook's injury, it was really tough. As you can see, we didn't win 1 match in that. Belgium Cup, we won. A for that. Pro League, C+ for that. We won it, though. Okay. They didn't really care about it, I don't think. We don't really care about this one as well. Top selling kits was Banu, Shufs, Jotty, Esahal, Togu. All right, sponsorship went up a good portion. Broadcast revenue actually went down a little bit. Not a little bit, a good deal. Almost $2 million. Corporate hospitality went up. Competition prize money went skyrocketed, which we really needed. That was huge, qualifying for the Champions League group stage. That's what we're going to aim for next year if we can get through all the path qualifying, pathers, all the qualifying round things. You get what I'm saying. Match day went up just a tiny bit, not enough to really note. How we lined up. Let's take a look at this. Clicked it twice now. I mean, yeah. I mean, we played with an advanced playmaker, and this was a little bit different. But yes, I do agree with this lineup. I think it was a pretty good lineup. Anderson working his way into that. He beat out our boy Norman Williamson. That's a bit different. I can see it though. I mean, he had the second highest rating in the league. Fans player of the season was Rob Shufs. Young player of the season was Mr. Anderson. Signing of the season, Miskovic. Goal of the season went to Harriman's. Sadly, Bud, you're out after this year. Banu was our top goal scorer with a whopping 31 at the age of 18. Most assists was Shufs. And I think it's important to note, Big Rick had 10. He didn't play good first half, the first 3/4 of the season. Banu, most man of the matches, was 6. Highest average rating was Mr. Anderson with 7.2. It might be a time that we start looking at playing him a little bit more than what we did this year. Esahal, most passes completed per 90 minutes. Banu broke a record for most league goals by a player in a season, now with 28. Mr. Norman Williamson, not Mr. Norman, Max Norman Williamson. He had the worst discipline with 12 yellow cards this season. I win the Belgian head coach of the year. I'm proud of me. You guys should be proud of me too. I mean, I would hope so. We've had a good time. History in the making. Clicked it. There we go. You guys can read it. I'm not reading it. I'm not reading it for you. You guys can read all that. You guys know how to read most of the time, I think. So this still hasn't updated to what we've had in the past, and it's I mean, wow, Norman Williamson at right back. Wow, that's an odd back four. I mean, like I like that back four. There was plenty of times in another save where I played Norman Williamson as a right back. The midfield, Harriman's is still there. I mean, there's going to be some changes to that in the future. Definitely going to be some changes to that in the future. Did anybody get added to the bench? So Esahal, Gassan, Miskovic, and Richter all are now on the bench of this. They'll be in the starting lineup pretty soon. And obviously, it's much needed. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff here. We're going to hopefully try to get some of this knocked off. We're going to try to get making most set pieces off and attacking football as well. I mean, I think we can do that. I mean, you know how these things go, though. They can be favored, but apparently they're unbreakable, and they want that to happen. Okay, so they want the most of set pieces. We're going to try. Okay. Hey, I got one of them off. We got one of them off. We're okay with getting one of them off. So now we have to play entertaining football, play possession football, make the most of set pieces, play high-tempo football, 5-year plan, work within our payroll, sign players to sell for a profit. We're doing that. Minimum 2-year contracts for first-team players. They want us to finish in the top 6 places. That's easy for us. They want us to reach the playoff of the Champions League. I think we can be able to do that. This is going to change some this year, I think. Harriman's is not going to be a highly influential player. Kawhi's not going to be a highly influential player. Because, well, they're not going to be on the team. We're going to go over this in a minute as well. I'll do that off screen. I was really hoping we'd get the money. We do have some staff news. Get one more recruiting analyst. Okay. Find me somebody that you want me to be a recruiting analyst. There we go. We got that. So we got to look at players that we're going to re-sign. Or not re-sign, that we're not signing. Contracts that are expiring. You guys know the 3 that are expiring. I hope by now we've discussed it at length over the past couple of times. We got Harriman's. We've got Kawhi, and we've got Jotty. They're all leaving. That does leave some holes on the wings, but I do feel like we've got good players for the wings. And that being said, we'll have to take a look at that in a minute too. I'm really excited about this team. I'm not going to actually do that yet until we get the budget. I just want to show you the 3 guys that are expiring. We'll take a deep dive into the roster to see what we think is going to happen on terms of what we need to sign, like in terms of first-team players. Obviously, we're going to sign a bunch of youth prospects like we do every season, and they're going to sit on the under-18s, under-21s until they get ready. Hopefully, we find some of them like Miskovic that's ready to come in for a really cheap price. Another thing we want to note, So this guy right here. So Issa, his contract is the last of the ones that are expiring next season. These are guys we need to take a look at because it might be a good time to move on from him if we get a good bid for him. Togu being one of them. Togu, we're not re-signing him. So it's probably a good idea to go ahead and try selling him this offseason and into the following season until we get a good bid on him that we like. Schufs, depends on the money, really. I would love to re-sign Schufs. Schufs has been a great player for us. But if we don't re-sign him, I mean, it's going to be tough. It really is. It's going to be tough to sign him because we've got a bunch of center mids that are really good that are ready to go. We've got locked down for a couple more years. Van Lindberg, I think it depends on the money. Once again, we've got a bunch of center backs that are sitting on the under-21s that we went over in the last in the transfer in the season review. Sam Arador. We got Mr. Anderson sitting on the bench with the second highest rating in the league. It's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough. It's going to depend on what kind of money you want. Valconeers, I could give a rat's rump. We can sell him. We can let him go. It doesn't matter. Daly is an interesting one because I still believe in Daly. I really do. That being said, do I plan on re-signing him right now? I don't plan on re-signing him. Don't plan on trying to sell him either. Sam Ardor, I don't plan on doing nothing with him either at this point. Issa, I don't plan on doing nothing at this point either. I want to see what those guys can do a little bit more. If that means sitting on the under-21s and seeing if they can develop a little bit more, because I feel like some of these other guys might have even jumped Sim a little bit in terms of attributes. I'd have to take a look at it to know for sure, because there's some of those guys that I really like on that under-21s team at center back, and it should be fun. But we're going to be back when we find out our budget. Hopefully it'll be in a couple of days. Not like the Daegu save where we never got one. That was tough. Well, I literally simmed one day and we got it. So that's nice. That's very nice. All right, so let's take a look at it. We got $17.74 million to spend, and we ain't spending all that. We can't spend all that. No way whatsoever. We're going to have another cheap transfer special this season. Hopefully we get some guys locked down for some new deals. In the meantime, we're committed to spending 10.1 next year, so we're looking good on payroll. We should have some money to spend in that terms. But like I said, I don't want to spend a ton of money. We've got $12 million in the bank. Hopefully when we get to the Champions League next year, we can build on that, try to get that back up a little bit more. Maybe if we sell a player, we could sell a player. I mean, I'm not against selling any of these guys. Like that's the point of this signing these youngsters. Sorry, I'm trying to get my pillow correct behind me. But yeah, we've got a lot of players, a lot of guys that we could potentially sell for big money. I mean, it just depends if somebody comes in for them. We haven't had that big guy yet. Dacey, he's wanted by Gladbach at this point. Let's see what it's a minor interest, so we probably won't ever hear anything from that. Some of these guys are just going to be available under 21s. These guys are just wanted by under contracts. Daly is, he's listed for a loan. Okay. So yeah, right now it looks like, what's his face? Dacey's the only person wanting it. It's minor interest, so that's pretty good. We're excited about that, but we do need to take a look at the team. Need to take a look at it. So we've got 3 expiring contracts. Perriman can play on either side of the wings and as a number 10. He's kind of a pretty versatile player that we didn't really use a lot. Kawhi on the right-hand side. Need to get a replacement for him, I feel like. Even if it's a backup, a third choice, I feel like it's going to be a third choice with Kalen Knockin and Valentina taking the main role right there for us. And then Jotty on the left-hand side, he kind of fell off at the end of the season. Do we really need to replace him? I don't really think we need to. I mean, because Richter looked good over there. Kawhi looked good over there. Do we have anybody else that can play in that spot that we know of? I don't see anybody right there. We need to take a look at some of our reserve players, some of our under-21s. Do we have anybody want to play over there? So Vincent. Hey, this guy right here looks pretty dang good, doesn't he? As a number 10, can play on the left-hand side for us. I'm sorry, apparently he can play on the right-hand side for us. This kid right here may be somebody that takes one of those spots like Harriman's had. He's a versatile player. Well, we will leave him available for the under-21s. That's no doubt. He will be playing there. Owen, he's a striker, so we really don't need him at this point. Martin, I don't know what to do with Martin. I really want to bring him up to the first team, but I don't think he's ready for the first team. I really don't. He's a number 10 that's not quite great at dribbling. He's driven, though. He's got a good personality. We may bring him up and put him available for the under-21s. He may be somebody else we need to. Who else do we see here? I would really like to see somebody that can play on the left-hand side. Vic Vetz can play on that left-hand side, can't he? He can. He looks like he can. I'm excited about somebody like him. We may bring him up, put him available for the under-21s. I see those guys right off the top of my head. I see them. They look pretty good. A player that we purchased this past season, Oscar the Grouch over here. He's a left-wing player as well. He may be getting that nod over Vic Vetz. I'm not sure. I don't know yet. I do like him. I purchased him. When did I purchase him? I got him for free. 2 years ago, I guess. So he's another player we take a look at. Trying to just see anybody else that we see. I believe those would be the main guys that we look at bringing up. So you can count them. There's Vincent. We got Big Vin here. He'd be one of them. Martin, he could be one of them. Vic Vetz. Oscar the Grouch. The 1, 2, 3, 4 players that we could bring up next season. There's some good ones on there, I really think. I think this guy right here, I think he's definitely a locked-in player that we bring in. He's already trained at club. He was one of the guys that we brought in from a youth. He was one of our youth intake guys. I really like him. Martin, I really like. I just think he's going to have a run of games to get any better than what he is. And he could do that. He very well could do that for us. Vic Vetz, I really like him as a... I didn't realize that. Vic's left-footed. We need to train him as a right wing. I'd prefer him to be training as a right wing. As an inverted winger. So Vic Vetz could play on the right-hand side for us as well. I don't see us bringing all these guys up. I don't see bringing 4 of them up. I see bringing 3 of them up at most. It makes Oscar look a lot more appetizing now that we know that Vic Vetz is actually left-footed, doesn't it? I think we got some players, though. I think we definitely got some players, though. So that's the positions that we're looking at. We're looking at left wing, right wing, maybe a number 10 that can play in the midfield as well. But we have that. We have most of those players. I mean, I guess what we're doing this offseason is we're signing young players that can potentially come into the first team. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Well, we have a lot of stuff to cover in this little clip here. And I'm excited about some of it. Some of it's pretty good. We brought in a lot of youngsters this first window. As you can see, there's at least 6 of them. We brought in 6 players. Up first, a really young player, 15-year-old Florian Coopens. I'm going to call him Coppins. I like that better. He's a 1-star player right now, 5-star potential. Can play on the left-hand side. As you can see, he does need to work, but with that potential of 4 stars, I'm happy with it. And us only spending 8.75. There's not much really to note about him yet. We got to see what he does, see how he develops, and see if it's anything worth noting. Carl Van Hoof, a player that we brought in, a 1.5-star player right now, 5-star potential. I just don't like that he's unambitious. He's an attacking mid player. We brought him in on a free. So that's nice business. I'm excited to bring in a cheap player like that. Up next, Bjorn Hedden, a 2-star player, 4-star potential, attacking mid as well. Finnish born. Brought him in for $650,000, so we did spend a little bit of money on him. Not a ton, but a little bit. Up next, a player that I think is probably the best out of these guys that we've brought in so far. That would be Samuel Mabangaloo. Yes, and that's how it is. He's a 2.5-star player, 4-star potential, and he looks pretty good right now. He's going to be slotting in on the left-hand side, probably behind Big Rick on most matches, but probably our number 2 right there. He can play anywhere in the attacking areas. Pretty good dribbling, pretty good first touch, pretty good passing, pretty good technique. Vision's pretty good as well. Got good flair, good determination. He's real pacey. He's got good acceleration. Brought him in on a free from Juventus. Glad to have him here. That's the kind of business we like to do, not spending any money. Up next, we got El Fernandez, 2-star player, 4-star potential, right wing option. I'd probably play him on the left-hand side with the way we play. He looks pretty well. Pretty good player. 15 dribbling, 12 first touch, 14 first touch. 12 finishing, 14 first touch. Vision of 15. Pretty pacey player as well with a 15 acceleration, 16 agility, 15 pace. Brought him in on a free from Standard. Glad to have you on the team. He'll be on the under-21s. Up next, Yannick Van Heck, a 2-star player, 4.5-star potential. Defensive mid, more likely a center back for us. He does need to train in his technical attributes a little bit, but he's got really good determination. His teamwork's really high. Work rate's really good as well. Kind of the players that I like, you know that. And also, brought him in on a free. We brought in a lot of players on free, and I'm excited about those kind of players. That's good news. That's the really good news. We've got a little bit of better news. Better news, and it's involving one of our players, Norman Williamson. Going to his information, looking at his eligibility. He is now trained in Belgium. He's trained at KV Mechelen, so that's going to be awesome to help us reach some of our squad restrictions when it comes to the Champions League. Happy to have that happen. I mean, that's good business. We had a little bit of a scare, a bit of a scare. Cook. Kind of forgot about this when we signed him to his new deal. Kind of forgot about this. He has a 10.5 minimum release clause. Bristol came in and matched that. Lucky for us, he turned it down. So he's still here. We may want to try re-signing him to get that bumped up a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. We'll probably do it after we get all of our business done. The side's looking really good, though. Really good. That's some good news. We also have a little bit of other news, too. See if it's still there. Okay, good. He's no longer wanted. No longer wanted. He had a list of clubs that was interested in him, and I'm trying to think who it was. Somebody was interested in him for like $38 million. I think I would have to turn that down. I think I would have to. I think he's a little bit better of a player than that. I think we can get some more money for him. Togu is wanted. He's wanted on loan. I prefer to sell him. He's transfer listed, so we'll hang on to him until a bid comes. Hopefully it does. We've got Valconeers. He played in the Champions League for us. He's on transfer listed. He's wanted. And we've brought up some players as well, as you can see. We need to drop some of these guys down to the under-21s, under-18s, trying to figure out what we need to do with them. But the players that we brought up Oscar the Grouch. He can play on the left-hand side for us. I mean, I like him. He probably, honestly, now that we've got Mabangaloo, we could probably drop him back down to the under-21s. I'm debating it. I want him to be there for the preseason. I want him to be in the preseason squad for us. And then Vincent, just Vincent, 2.5-star player, 5-star potential. We discussed him a little bit ago. He's really skyrocketing through training. He's a homegrown player. I think we can keep him on the team, keep him on the first team. But that's the two players that we've got. We do need to sort some of this stuff out in terms of, like, he does not need to be on our senior squad. He needs to go on down to the under-18s. I'm looking to see, is there anybody else that we brought in that's on this team that needs to go down? Doesn't look like it, does it? It doesn't look like it. Luckily, we've been unscathed through this transfer window. It's been hectic. It's been very hectic. We've dodged some bullets, especially that Cook bullet. That was a big bullet right there. Kalen Knock, he's wanted on loan and transfer by somebody. Who is that he's wanted on transfer by? Okay. I think we can hang on to him from them. I think we'll be fine from that. And I didn't realize that one too. But that's minor interest, so there's not a whole lot of worry about that with him. But I mean, like, it's one of those things. I don't see us doing a lot with this squad. I tried to re-sign Van Lindberg. He wants a good deal of money, bit more money than what I want to pay him. So, do we transfer list him? Let's see what he says. He may not act well to it, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to cause a little bit of a stir with that. And same with this one's going to cause a bit of controversy. Shufs. He doesn't want to be transfer listed either. Okay. He wants to be an important player. He wants to be played as a Roman playmaker, and it's just not what we want from our side. We don't need that right now. So if we get rid of Togu, that would be the best thing, I think. We get rid of Togu, maybe some other players. I wouldn't honestly mind selling Alexander at this point if the right bid comes in. It's got to be the right bid, though. We want to make sure that we get the money that we need for him. I would say anywhere 3 to 5 for him. I would be happy with that. That would bring in some money to the club. And another good bit of news that we've got to discuss too, I think, I could be wrong on this. I think that we've qualified for the Champions League group stage. I'm confused because it came in and said, hey, Belgium now has a group stage spot. Does that come into effect this next season or season after? I guess we'll find out when the season starts. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It's going to be a tough one. It is. But we got a little bit more work to do, I think. I want to sign some more youngsters. We've really focused on a lot of these guys. If you notice, they're Belgian players. 1 Belgian player. 2 Belgian players. I know you're not. You are. So 3, 4, 5. We brought in 5 of our 6 players we've brought in so far are Belgian-born. I want to branch out. I want to find some other players from some different nations that we can hopefully get in, trained in club. But I don't see us signing any real players that are going to be first-team players. I really don't. Not off the start of the season, unless we find somebody like a Miskovic that's wildly talented. But I don't see that happening. That's a big ask for anybody. Looking at our money though, we're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. We got $29,000 in the bank. We got some money in a while back ago, and I don't remember why. I think it was like for being in the Champions League this past time. That's where it came from. I still really struggle trying to figure out this a little bit. I'm guessing that's where it's came from. So last month, I'm confused. Sponsorship, maybe? Maybe the sponsorship. I'm not sure. Let me know if you know. Well, I am kind of regretting staying up and recording 3 straight episodes of KV Mechelen because right now it is 1 a.m. I'm usually getting better around 10. Struggling, but we have done a ton of stuff and I've really enjoyed it. We've done a lot of signings, a lot of young players, and it's going to take a while to get through them. But before we get to it, Schalke has came in for Cook, 10.5. Yeah. Saying that, I do have a backup plan if it goes through. We'll take a look at this kid right now. Where are they? Vosland. I really like Vosland's goalkeeper. It's this guy right here, Norden Jackers. He's a 3.5-star player. It would cost some money to get him, around 3.3. But if we sell Cook for 10.5, we can definitely do that. He's a 4.5-star player, or 3.5-star player right now, 4-star potential. I don't know about the big matches. I don't know about that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't know that till just then. But we can take a look. I'm sure we can find a goalkeeper that we like to come in, even if it's our backup guy, because our backup guy has really good potential. Cook is a 3.5-star player right now. Lilo is a 2.5-star player, but he has bags of potential at 4.5 stars. Like, Maybe we do it. We're going to be probably losing 2 goalkeepers. Valkeniers, he is probably about to head out the door as well. Going to Brescia. He sucks. He's not a really good goalkeeper. His contract expires at the end of the year, so we're just trying to get a little bit of money out of him. And that's the way it is. That is the way she is. Guys, I've done a lot of business. Okay, starting with, we sold Alexander. He's going to Malaga for $3 million. It was a little bit lower than what I wanted, but we've got a lot of left wing players now. So, and as you can see, a lot of players got signed. So let us see. Okay, I think this is where we are. We're sitting with Tom Lindberg. Spent some money on this kid from Malmo, 1.5, by far our biggest transfer this offseason. He's goalkeeper at 1.5-star, 5-star potential, though. I think he can be really good. Swedish-born, 17-year-old. I don't think he ever played for Malmo. He didn't. I mean, it looks like he just came through the youth intake, so I'm excited to get him. We brought in Indri Alaja for $925. Broke the bank for this guy. 2.5-star player, 5-star potential player. Either-footed, great determination. Technique looks pretty good as well. First touch. He's got some pretty good speed. His pace is pretty good as well. I just think he's a really well-rounded player. Glad to have him in. 17-year-old. Has he ever played before? He originally came through Brøndby's youth system, then went on a free, and then we purchased him for $925. His contract was expiring, and I wanted to get him now, so we went ahead and just like, they said, hey, do you want to buy him now? I was like, sure, let me buy him now. We did, and I'm excited about that. We brought in Thiago Kuna on a free transfers, the Brazilian, 1.5 star, 4-star potential, and he hasn't never played before. It's pretty good though. We actually he came up on our youth, like our little, you know, the thing you click. What is it? This right here came up in this. Signed him. I like him. Looks pretty good. Luis Abakar, a central midfield player. I think he's a really good box to box. He's got a really good work rate, good teamwork, technique's really good, good passing. First touch is pretty good. He's got decent finishing for a midfield player. Determination, hella determined. He's got great natural fitness. His media description is exactly what I think. A hard-working midfield player. Excited to have him. 17K. You're doing good. Scouting Africa, man, it's nice. We got a lot of players coming in too on future transfers, I believe, because we signed a lot more than this. There's one of them right there. And he will be coming through, looks like next year, Esteban Fernandez. I like this kid. We started scouting in South America a little bit. He's a 1.5 star striker right now. He's either footed. He's ambitious. He looks really good. I mean, I wish his agility was a little bit higher, but maybe we can work on that and maybe potentially sell him. But at 5-star potential, I'm excited about him. I think he's a pretty good player. We're going to be trying to bring in 2 more players, and I guess we can take a look at them before. I am spending a little bit more money on these guys, and it's mainly because I've struggled finding these positions, and I was looking at our under-21s team, and we really don't have 2 guys that have great potential at this, and that's Merrick Nemcheck. He's a right-back option. Look at that determination. He is determined. Good crossing already at 16 years old as a fullback. Marking, passing, I'm good with that as fullback. Technique's really good. I think he's going to be a pretty good player. I do wish like he had a little bit more pace, a little bit more of a physical player, but it is what it is. Like I said, I've really struggled at finding a good right back. Left back, Nicolo. And okay, this is a weird one to me. My scouts really don't like this guy. I really like him. I mean, is he perfect? No, but when you're spending 450K, it's not going to be a perfect player. But yeah, he's got good crossing at 11 already. His determination's 15. Good teamwork, good work rate. Pretty good at pace for his age. I like this guy a lot. I don't know what I'm missing. The scouts just do not like him. He's rated a 1.5 star player, 3-star potential, but I see a little bit more out of the guy. I really do. I think he's going to be a pretty decent player for us. But this right here, man, that is a bit on the scary side, isn't it? We may have to be finding a goalkeeper pretty early on. Looking at our players that are wanted, Cardiff have been coming after Junior pretty hard. And I'm just like, he's going to be my starting right back this season. I think he really is. Dacey, it says Cardiff wants him. He hadn't had any interest in him really, though. It says it's major. They never came in for a bid, so I'm not expecting anything. Issa, I'm transfer listing this. I don't think he's going to ever be decent enough for us. I don't know. I don't think he has it. I mean, he looks like a good player, but his contract expires, and I'm rolling with Junior. I think that's the right decision. I think Junior's just a better, well-rounded player than Issa. Kalen Knott, we've had a couple bids for him. Nothing crazy. Nothing that I wanted to be like, yeah, I'll take that. No, so he's staying with us. Togu had an offer a minute ago. It was a loan where they paid 0% of his wages. They paid 0% loan fee. And I'm good. He's my backup striker at that point. I would rather hang on to him. But once again, Banu, he's wanted. Udinese is in and out on him. Every now and then there'll be a major interest on him, then they're out on him. Couple weeks later, they're back. And like I said, if we ever do end up selling him, it's going to be a big fee for us. I don't think it'll be like a huge fee in the grand scheme of things, like when you're looking at other clubs and stuff like that. But for a club our size, it's going to be a massive. It's got to be a massive signing. We're not giving him away. That's That's ridiculous. I don't think we could ever do that. We're going to start the season off, though, against Antwerp and Standard. Seems like a pretty tough league. A pretty tough way to start the league. Yeah, so we've really looked really good in our friendlies. I played the Anderlecht Super League Cup Pro thing, 3-1. We played a rotated side in this match, as you can see. We started Gennari. Junior got a start. Mr. Anderson, Ador, Vandas. Gasson started. Right-hand side, Knox started. Left-hand side, Mabangaloo started. Up top, Togu started. And I feel like Anderlecht has to feel like they're a little bit hard done. They really came back in the second half and put it on us, but we maintained our lead. The only loss we had was against Dortmund. And as you guys know, I really don't play my friendlies. So it's okay. I mean, the rest of them we looked good at. Granted, there's smaller teams out there, but yeah, it was a good transfer window. Looking at our financial aspect of it, we didn't spend hardly any of our transfer budget. We still got $16 million left. We're under our payroll. We've got $25 million in the bank, and even better news on that. Looking at our facilities, we now have excellent academy coaching, good stuff there, and we're upgrading our youth facilities. Pretty good transfer window, I think. Well, did this transfer window have the Banus, the Miskoviches? It didn't. I don't think we've got any of those players. I think those was two rarities that we really found, and we was lucky to find them. But it was a very successful window. We've got a lot accomplished in it. We signed some young players for our under-21s team that can eventually become senior squad level players. We maintained most of our team, except for Cook, maybe. Hope he turns them down. That's scary. Yeah, but if you enjoyed this episode, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below. And as always, my dudes, thank you for watching.